When I think about teaching, I really think back to my very first year, and my principal told me something before the first day of school that has really stuck with me, and I don't think I've thought about it more than I have recently. He told me that school is the best place that some of these kids go. He said in our particular district, maybe a majority. And that really didn't ring true with me at first. I was like, what are you talking about? I mean, I had a great home life, and so, I mean, I liked school okay, but it definitely was the best place I went all day. And he said, some of these kids, it's the only time they get to see other people. It's the only hot meal or good meal or meal altogether that they get each day. It's the only time that they feel safe. And I really just kind of took that with a grain of salt. And as that first year progressed, I saw that he was absolutely 100% right. Some of the kids, the ones that act like they don't want to be there the most, are the ones that need to be there the most. If I've learned anything over the years, there is absolutely no replacement for in-person, in-school education. And if this pandemic has taught me anything, it's that is definitely true. It's been rough. It's been really rough. When this first started back in the spring, I didn't really know what to do. I was panicking, and I was only thinking about getting lessons done or something that I can grade them on so that they wouldn't lose credit for the classes, and that I could get them to get into Zoom or just be part of anything that we were doing educationally. I didn't really think about the repercussions that it was going to have on their mental health, my mental health as well. I had no idea that I was an extrovert until we had to stay home for all those months. I was miserable. I know my students were miserable. I'm seeing students now that are suffering from depression, extra anxiety. I'm always concerned about them all the time. I don't know if they would do anything drastic, but it's still not good in the long term. They're shutting down. They don't complete assignments when they're at home. They get to where they quit dialing into Zoom. They just don't do well. People need to belong to things. People need to work together. People need to see a smiling face. I think an interesting thing that I see, we're we're almost 9 weeks in, so about a quarter of the way through the school year. We have teachers at the school right now that are just busting down and just trying to keep school spirit at an all-time high. Because if we don't, what do we have? The same situation with a negative attitude, and that's not productive at all. We have to keep a positive attitude if we want to keep going. I always say this to the students when they whine about something. It could be worse, because we could all be home again. And that was not a good place to be. As educators, we are so much more than just content, just pushing content out. When I first started teaching, I just focused on content, and I didn't realize how much of the day was spent doing other things. And I think a lot of first-year teachers do this. I think a lot of teachers that are, 20-year teachers still try to do this. They don't just focus. They focus so much on getting through the content that they don't build those relationships. In education, it's all about relationships. That's all I can say about that. If you're not making relationships with your students, if you're not making relationships with the parents and the community, if you're not stopping sometimes just to celebrate achievements, if you're not stopping to look at what didn't work and try to figure out a way to make it work or make corrections, you're not really learning. You're not really achieving anything. If you build a relationship with a student, they will work so much harder for you, for the school, and more importantly for themselves, than if they don't feel wanted or needed. I see this every single day. Just the smallest act of kindness, care. If a student tells you that their mom's going to have surgery in 2 weeks, put it in your calendar. I know we have busy lives, but I guarantee you, if you tell that student the day before that surgery, good luck to your mom, I hope everything goes well, that student will remember that. You remembered them. And that's important. That's unbelievably important. I think back on my favorite teachers when I was in school, and I remember that they were good educators and that their lessons were fair and they were and I understood them. But I remember even more than that, what they meant to me in here. They didn't do that from teaching their content. They did that by noticing when I needed a break, when I was overwhelmed, when I was excited about something, when I was sad about something, and acting appropriately to that. I tell my students all the time, I'm not going to hold your worst day against you. If you come in and you just have a terrible day, you have a bad attitude, you blow up, if you cuss me, I'm not going to hold that against you. You get a fresh start tomorrow. I think that's what we really need right now. We all need a fresh start tomorrow. So if you're in that headspace where it's all negative, there's no coming out of this, you're considering a different career, and you're a multi-year teacher and you're considering a different career right now, don't act too drastically. I guarantee you, we'll figure it out. We won't give up. We'll figure it out. We'll do that by working together. We'll do that by motivating, by caring, and by remembering the best place that a lot of these kids go is to school. Thank you, guys.